It's now recording, and we'll be sharing it with you after, probably later on today or first thing in the morning. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin, I'm going to go ahead and sorry, technical difficulty. Welcome and introductions. So again, my name is Pauline Green. I am the Director of Community Initiatives with Miami Homes for All. I have with me here Bobby Ibarra, who is our Executive Director at MHFA, and Audrey Aradanis, our Youth Program Associate at MHFA. So I'm going to turn it over to Bobby for a quick introduction.
Yes, good morning, and really on behalf of all of Miami Homes for All and for all the unaccompanied homeless youth in our community, we really want to thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for your willingness to give your time to this important initiative. We really recognize how busy everyone is and all the added responsibilities that everybody's been undertaking. So to add on another one, we appreciate what an effort that makes on your behalf, and we are grateful and thankful for you. Hopefully you will also enjoy the experience and help us improve it as time
goes on. Sorry, it sounds like somebody's put us on hold. You'll give us a minute. Get that cut off. I see them blue for me and you.
It's a nice song.
Hi there. Can you guys be careful about placing folks on hold? There's music that comes up in the background and it disrupts. Okay, sorry. Go ahead,
Great.
Bobby.
So in addition to thanking you from the bottom of our hearts, we also want you to know how important this initiative is. As many of you are probably aware, youth homelessness is one of the more challenging subpopulations of individuals experiencing homelessness, individuals and families, because they remain invisible. They really don't want to be found. They perceive a stigma, understandably, and they're also sometimes afraid and fearful that they'll be taken away or moved out into other circumstances. So it's really important for us, and HUD, of course, Housing and Urban Development at the federal level, is now requiring that we document and substantiate the need for resources in our community. So it is paramount that every way we can, we acquire information on these young people. You will learn more about that during the slides, but please know that you are playing an incredibly important role to this initiative, and again, we thank you for that, and I'm going to turn it back over to Pauline for the rest of the webinar.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bobby. So iCount Miami 2017. Hopefully you've heard of the iCount in the past. We've been doing the iCount since 2013 actually as a pilot. And then thereafter, we've done it every year in January. The iCount is a census of homeless youth in Miami-Dade County, homeless youth between the ages of 13 through 24. Particularly, the iCount survey targets unaccompanied homeless youth. So youth who are without a parent. There's a 10-day period from January 22nd through the 31st that we'll be conducting the iCount. We do want to note that there's a special focus on known homeless youth between January 27th and the 31st. What that means is that those are really the dates, the 27th through the 31st, that are permissible, that are those. During that period of time, we're allowed to submit the figures to HUD. From the 22nd through the 31st, that's the entire survey period. However, it's been made clear to us that only the dates of the 27th through 31st are going to be allowable to HUD. The iCount is carried out, it's planned, carried out, and coordinated by Miami Homes for All in coordination with the Miami-Dade County Homeless Trust, the Miami-Dade County Public Schools Project Upstart, and numerous partners and members of the YHI, the Youth Homelessness Initiative in Miami-Dade. A number of you guys who are on the call here are partners of the YHI, and we're very fortunate to have you join us for this incredibly important initiative. So the purpose of the iCount. In a little while, we're going to show you the actual iCount survey and the questions that are included there. But first and foremost, it's to help us understand the dimensions of youth homelessness in Miami-Dade County. That's inclusive of the actual numbers of youth who are experiencing homelessness in our county. To help us to establish a system of care that is responsive to the needs of homeless youth. And you'll see in the questions that are posed that we're trying to understand what it is that they're experiencing so that our county can develop the services and programs needed. That also requires funding, but we first need to understand what the extent of the issue. So who's going to be surveyed? As I noted, it's unaccompanied youth, so young people between the ages of 13 through 24 who are experiencing homelessness. These young people are not living with a parent or a legal guardian. They may be living on the street, in shelters, or in transitional housing programs. These are also youth who may be doubled up, that meaning that they are staying with another person and not in a place of their own. They may be couch surfing, staying in hotels, motels, or living in cars, or in situations that are not suitable or meant for human living. So how are we going about this? The iCount survey this year is going to be conducted a bit differently. In the past, the iCount survey has been accessible online and pretty much primarily online, right? Where young people were able to access it at www.icountmiami.com, complete the survey on their own, and then we took those figures. It's become clear to us through HUD this year that those figures are not actually considered fully valid by HUD. Thus, it's important that young people actually complete the survey in person. Wherever possible, and only those that are conducted either in person are going to be permissible for HUD. So what we're doing this year is we're conducting the survey at magnet sites. Everybody on this phone is considered an actual magnet site, and magnet sites are those places that are likely to be frequented by young people who are experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness, and that may be that your program is actually focused upon this group or this population, or it may be that you are a provider that may come across young people who are experiencing homelessness, though you may not may not know that in working with them just at face value. So that being said, the magnet sites are going to be conducting the survey via online, and we'll show you how that's going to work. But there are some sites, and there may be some folks on the phone here today who are conducting it via paper survey. So that's Jackson Memorial at the hospital. They'll be conducting it via paper because that's the best way to administer it actually in the hospital departments and for the nurses and social workers there. Juvenile Services Department has also requested to conduct the survey via paper. So we're doing it that way because they don't have access to a computer for the young people to complete the survey. If you are not listed there and there's a reason that you're not able to complete the survey online with youth, please email us after this call so that we are able to figure out how best to work with you on this. Sorry, give us a second. I'm sorry. The youth ambassadors are also going to be conducting the survey at various different sites across the county. Youth ambassadors are young people with lived experience who are going to be set in various different positions across the county. They'll be conducting the survey via paper. They won't have a tablet or anything while they're out in the world, but we'll have paper surveys and we'll be conducting the survey in a similar manner confidentially. Those folks have their own special trainings coming up this week. Those will be in-person trainings so that they're fully comfortable and safe in doing that outreach. So what will you be doing as a magnet site point person? Again, we're very, very thankful for you working with us in this work. We know that each of you have a number of responsibilities and tasks and duties in your work, currently, and this is another step that's being asked of you over this 10-day period. So again, we're very grateful and understanding of that. So what you'll be doing is surveying youth who are experiencing homelessness or housing instability who actually receive services at your site. It may be, we cannot make assumptions, right? You may not necessarily know whether a young person is experiencing homelessness or housing instability. So what we are asking is that if there's a young person between that age range of 13 through 24 who you suspect may be experiencing housing instability, who may be doubled up in a living situation, do encourage them to please complete the survey. It may also be that young people learn about your site through the website, through the iCount website, and then come into your space to ask to be surveyed. There's certain sites that are not open in that way, those being the Miami-Dade County Public School sites. Of course, for safety reasons, you cannot just walk into an MDCPS technical college to be surveyed. So those won't be open to all. However, most of the magnet sites are. If any youth happens to walk away or refuses to survey, do not push or insist that they complete it. You may encourage them and say, hey, this would be good, but don't push them any further. If they refuse, we aren't going to compel them to complete the survey. So we're going to go through the full survey shortly, but in brief, the questions that are asked in the survey include the young person's birth date and initials. That is for the purposes of preventing duplication. So we want to be clear on that point. If a young person asks you, why are you taking my birth date and initials? It is solely for the purposes of preventing duplication, having them complete it multiple times. We just need to know, hey, this is one unique person who's completed the survey. There will also be questions about the young person's current living situation, and we'll show you what that question is shortly. And then, of course, demographic information, the young person's age, their race and ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, and so forth. It's incredibly important and critical in this work that we respect the young person and treat them with dignity. We must, first and foremost, ensure anonymity and confidentiality in the completion of the survey. So the survey is anonymous. We do not collect the youth's names. At most, we take that birth date and the initials. And it's confidential, so it's not to be shared with anyone. If you're doing the survey with that young person and they're not completing it themselves online, all you're doing is taking that information and then removing it from your brain. You're going to take that information, insert it into the survey, and move on. You cannot do anything beyond that. So again, this is a voluntary survey. Youth must give their verbal consent to take the survey. Please do not pressure youth to take the survey or answer any single question that they do not want to answer. Even if they decide, hey, I don't want to finish the survey, you cannot compel them to do so. And again, respecting their privacy, please ensure to survey the youth a safe distance from others to ensure the privacy of their answers. So what we're getting at is if you're conducting the survey on paper, or if you're sitting at a computer and posing the questions to the young person, please don't do so in a space that's completely open or where others can hear their responses. As you'll see, the questions can be a little bit sensitive, and we want to first and foremost respect the privacy of our young people. The survey is going to be available online at www.icountmiami.com. We're going to show you that website shortly, but that is where you will go in order to complete the survey with the young people if you're not doing it via paper. So approaching and engaging the youth. First, of course, hopefully, with some of these youth, you'll have actual existing relationships with, and some trust there. Even if not, you want to approach young people and explain to them the purpose of the survey. So again, the purpose of the survey is that Miami-Dade County is seeking to understand the needs of young people who are experiencing housing instability. It's important to frame this whole survey in such a way that you're not using the word homeless repeatedly, right? So young people do not associate themselves with being homeless. They may be doubled up, they might be couch surfing, they're crashing with a friend, they're crashing with some family member or sometimes a stranger, but they refuse, and definitely there's a great stigma around the word homeless. So avoid that when you're speaking with them. Definitely talk to them about housing instability, or hey, do you maybe not have a permanent place to stay? Miami-Dade County is trying to understand what young people might need to get into a more stable situation. Also, it's important to emphasize confidentiality. Young people, of course, as with us as well, we want to ensure any information that we're sharing is confidential and it's not going beyond the two people who are speaking. And of course, that it's anonymous and voluntary. Again, you won't compel young people to complete it. It's completely voluntary for them to complete the survey. So administering the survey, you will offer to read the questions and fill out the survey form. That is going to be the primary way you want to go about it if you can, right? If you're sitting at a computer or you have a computer available, you want to offer to complete the survey for them and pose the questions. But also give them the option of completing the survey on their own. In order to complete the survey, either you or the youth, you're going to need to go to www.icountmiami.com. We're going to show you what that website looks like in a minute. But when you go to the website, you or the youth is going to have to enter a 4-digit code. At this point, you don't have that code yet. You're going to receive it from us this week. But for instance, at one of the technical colleges, right, it would be important that we understand, hey, this is the aviation college, and we've given them the code of 1004. That when a young person completes the survey at that site, that they fill in that number, or that you fill in the number if you're completing the survey. The purpose of that code is, one, so that we understand where the survey is being completed, and we understand how many are completed in that certain area, and we can understand how many youth might be experiencing housing instability in that area. So that's going to be one of the primary reasons for that magnet site code. It also helps to ensure that we understand which of the surveys were completed by a youth on their own without having gone in person. Those surveys won't be able to be submitted to HUD, which is not so great for us. But if it's completed with you or at your site, they put in that code and we can submit that information to HUD. So we're going to show you what the iCountMiami.com website looks like, and then we'll get into what the survey questions actually are. So give us a second. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Audrey Aradanis. She's our Youth Program Associate and is our website guru.
Hey everyone, I'm really excited to be working with all of you. My name's Audrey Ardanis again. I'm the one that's been bothering you via email. So I'm just going to go over this website really quickly. So this is our homepage, which is a quick introduction to the iCount Miami 2017. And then here you'll see some various magnet sites that you may go to. There's a flyer. This link will actually take you to another page in our website where you could see a map and so forth of all the magnet sites. These are sites that don't cater to specific clientele. These are sites that are open to the public where the youth may frequent. And there's also, they are all listed here as well, as you can see. And then this is where you will be going, take the iCount 2017 survey. That is where you will click and where you will put or the youth will put your magnet site code. Again, this link is not live at the moment. This will become live as soon as January 22nd comes by. So go ahead, when you click that, that will take you to the survey. So just to give you like a quick introduction of the website, you can do this on your own time, but when you click on menu, you can actually see all of our social media sites, and this is also a mail link just in case the youth may want to contact us or have any questions. So you can just go ahead and click here to see our social media, and you can also use this website to promote the iCount 2017. And then you can go here to see about the iCount 2017, and this is where you can also see. So this is a simple map, a Google map, where you can actually click on all the various sites here in Miami. So these are parks, these are, just various sites that the youth may go to frequently that are open to the public and they may go to. And then you can also see down here just a list of all those magnet sites that are open to the public, and you don't have to be a client to go to that. If you do not see your magnet site here and you would like for it to be here, just please let me know. Just shoot me an email after this webinar. And then you can also go see the complete survey site list. So these are all the sites. These are health providers, service centers. All these sites are sites that you may be listed under. And if you do not see your site here, please let me know, and I'll make sure to add that. And yeah, so these are all the sites that youth may go to for the 2017 iCount. And then again, these are resources that they may also look at. And these are some facts that you may want to see as well, just about the iCount and our strategic plan here at the YHI. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and email me or call our office. And my contact information is in the signature in my email.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Audrey. So if you can just take the time, you guys, to visit the website and get acquainted with it. And again, as Audrey said, if you have any questions, just give her a shout and we'll be sure to answer those. Okay, so going back to the webinar. The actual survey itself, so this is a draft version of the survey. There's maybe one more question being added to it, and then you'll receive the proper link and be able to see it in full. But we wanted you to have a look at what the survey looks like thus far. So as you see, the housing survey is for youth under age 25. So everybody up to age 24. It's really 13 to 24 is the group that we're aiming at. You'll notice throughout the survey, there's nowhere that it says the word homeless. It's a housing survey. We want to understand if you don't have a permanent place to stay. And again, reminding folks that it's voluntary and anonymous. But throughout, there is no question here that poses, are you homeless? It's upon us here and at the county to vet through and go through the information that we receive on these surveys and determine whether the young people meet that definition. But that's not, we don't ask that question outright. So you'll see it starting from the top. There's a quick description of the purpose of the survey, what's going on. You'll read that to them if you're giving it to them, if you're administering the survey. If you're not administering the survey and they're doing it online, that will be the first prompt for them to read. It's going to ask, would they like to participate? Again, you check yes or no. If they say no, just thank them and move on. You'll ask them if they've already completed the survey. That's an effort for us not to have duplication. Now, young people have been completing this survey since 2013, so you want to make clear you're asking, have they completed that survey this year in 2017, in the past few days. The question of how old are you is question 2. And then you'll see there's prompts there. What do you do? If they're 13 to 24, you move on and you keep on asking questions. If they're 25 or older and you've already gotten to this place, you can end the survey. And if they're under 13, you don't continue with the survey either. Then you'll take their initials and their date of birth. Again, that's for the purposes of non-duplication. here and at the county. We work with the University of Miami to do the data clearance. So that's who will work with that information. And then we get into the meat of it, right? So number 5 is, where did you sleep last night? Then there's multiple options for them to complete. Were they unsheltered? Were they sheltered? Were they living in a place that might be permanent in that right-hand column or other? And you're just going to read those out. The likelihood is the young person will be filling this out themselves online, but this is so that you understand what's being asked. It is important to know, and it's not shown here, this survey question number 5 will be a bit different. As I noted, the only numbers going up to HUD are those that are collected between January 27th through the 31st. The reason for that is that the regular point-in-time count census, this is what we're doing as the youth, so just the regular adult homeless census is done on the night of the 26th of January. So the only numbers that are valid are from the 27th forward. The question that's posed in number 5, beginning on the 27th, will read, where did you sleep the night of the 26th? It doesn't say that here, but that's what it's supposed to say. Where did you sleep the night of the 26th? And then the young person will have to remember where were they on that Friday. Friday or Thursday. Give me a second. The Thursday. So where did they sleep on that Thursday? However, because we're allowing young people to fill this out between the 22nd and the 25th, online the survey will be different during that period. So I know that's a little bit confusing, but just to clarify, that question will simply read, where did you sleep last night between the 22nd through the 26th? And thereafter it will read, where did you sleep on the night of the 26th? Okay, so going forward, the next question is, was your parent or legal guardian with you where you stayed last night? That's going to help us understand if that young person is unaccompanied and without a legal guardian. Number 7, if you're not staying with your parents or legal guardians, what is the main reason? And then you'll see there's multiple possible reasons that the young person might tick as to why they're not with their parent or legal guardian. These, again, are questions that help us understand why our young people in Miami-Dade County are experiencing homelessness. It may be a bit different here than it might be in King County, Washington, for instance, or in Ohio, or in a number of other areas. So we need to understand what's going on in our local continuum. Number 8, if you're sheltered or unsheltered, how long have you been living on the street or in a shelter or transitional housing? And then the person is allowed to put that information in on their own. Including this time, number 9, including this time, how many separate times have you been living on the streets or in a shelter in the past 3 years? That is since January 2014. This question can be a little bit difficult, just so you're aware. If you're posing the question to young people, it's going to be hard for them to really remember how many times they've slipped into housing instability, right, and haven't had a place to live. So it may just be a guess, but again, it's important information for us to know how frequently they're falling into homelessness. Number 11, at any point in the last 12 months, have you stayed up all night or slept on the streets, a park bench, or other place not meant for human habitation because you lacked a regular place to stay? And again, it's just a yes or no or don't know. There may be a question about what does it mean that it's not meant for human habitation. Again, just refer back to it's the streets or the park or beach, and give them those examples. And if they're able to, like an abandoned house would not be meant for human habitation. And let them answer that to the best of their ability. If a young person is unable or refuses to answer, it's okay. Just move on to the next question. Number 12, are you going to school? It's a yes, no. Number 13, what was the last grade you finished in school? And then there's the options there for that. Number 14, in the past year, in what ways did you make money? So we can get into a bit of a sensitive question here. You'll see that there's regular full-time and part-time work, money from friends or family, hustling or panhandling. Option number 6 does say sex work. So just be aware that that option is there, and a young person may decide either to answer it honestly or to not answer the question at all when you get to that. And that's, again, okay. We don't compel them to complete the questionnaire. Number 15, have you ever been placed in foster care or stayed in a group home? It's a yes, no, or don't know. And then moving on, this is the last page. It's really a 2-page survey. I've just broken it up in this way. So 16, if you left foster care or a group home in the past 3 years, did anyone help you get housing? That helps us understand how the public child welfare system is faring, and if we really need to dig in there. I think we already know the answer to that, but to ensure that young people are not transitioning from foster care and into homelessness. Number 17, are you pregnant or a parent? If yes, do you have custody of your child or children? And again, that helps us understand how many of our young people are experiencing homelessness and have young children of their own. For a number of reasons, I mean, that helps us to understand, that helps us to understand if that we need to have certain types of housing, as we know we certainly do, but about how much of that housing needs to be available for parenting and pregnant young people. Number 20, in order to stay in any housing situation, have you ever, and then we've got a number of options again, stayed with someone you don't know or trust, stayed somewhere you didn't feel safe, stayed with a sexual partner that you would not have otherwise, stayed on a couch or a floor for longer than a week, none of the above, or refused to answer? Again, that's going to be a more sensitive question in getting into the idea of exchange of sex for a place to stay. Number 21, what is your race? And these young people may select more than one race. They may refuse to answer. Be respectful of that as you go forward. Number 23, are you Hispanic or Latino, Latina? Number 24, how would you define your gender? There's male, female, there's transgender, female to male, and transgender male to female. The young person is identifying themselves. Do not give that a guess. Their identity is their own. If they tell you they don't identify as any of those things, then that's fine. Just click that. If they don't know or they refuse to answer, there's also the option for that as well. Number 25, which of the following best represents how you think of yourself? Again, this is getting into sexual orientation, and the young person may refuse if they choose to not answer those questions. So straight, lesbian, gay, bisexual, something else, questioning, don't know, I'd rather not say. There's not the full gamut of queer identities listed here, but there are some and enough at this point where the young person can refuse or just say something else at least. We understand there's a larger gamut that could have been included there, but because of the length of the survey, it had to be cut short. Number 26, please select any and all of the following that apply to you. Drug or alcohol abuse, HIV, AIDS, special education, mental health issues, or physical disability. In the last set of these in 2016, that was the least answered question. So just be aware of that. A young person just may decide, I don't want to answer that. That's a hard question for a lot of folks. Number 27, where did you learn about this survey? That helps us to know what we're doing and what we could be doing better in terms of our outreach. Number 28, this survey was either self-administered or facilitated. Here it says facilitator's initials. If that's the case, you would enter it there. If the young person is self-administered, then they'll click that box. And where was this survey taken? And then at a magnet site. So if it's at a magnet site, again, there's going to be a 4-digit code. Whether it will show up here at number 29 or it will be at the very front end of the survey, that may change. So just be aware at some place there's going to be a question that asks you to put in the 4-digit code of your magnet site. Okay. So after the survey, the next steps. We are going to be sending you a document that is essentially a log for you to help you just keep track of how many of these surveys you've taken in a day. So we do ask, after the young person has completed the survey, whether on their own or not, they are going to, you're going to just write on a document that we provide to you, their initials and date of birth, and that's it. You're going to provide them with a mini resource guide. It's essentially just a bifold card that has the numbers to our partners in this youth homelessness work and those places where they may get assistance. I'll show you a copy of that shortly. In addition to the bifold cards, we are providing a $5 gift card. It's a Publix gift card to every youth who completes the survey. We only have a limited number of these. Publix did donate 250 of them to us. We also did a little bit of a GoFundMe campaign for donations so that we could purchase these $5 gift cards. We need to distribute these out to you all, and that's also part of the survey log, right? So by giving you guys maybe 10 of these cards, we need to be able to keep track of those cards and where they went and how they were distributed. The survey log allows us to do that, and that's through the county government, so it's pretty critical. This next piece that says youth receive a gift card as long as they answer the first 5 questions of the survey. That's totally right if you're completing the survey with them. But if a young person is completing the survey online, we really have no way of knowing whether they answered the first 5 questions or they put do not no response under all of them. So they would still be able to come to you and say, hey, I completed the survey. We'll try to work out that kink over the next couple of days. It may be a way for us to provide a confirmation number to you so you know that they completed it. But for now, if a young person asks to complete the survey, they go to a computer, you've given them the 4-digit code, and they come back to you and say, hey, I've completed it, you do provide them with the resource card and the $5 gift card. Every youth can only receive 1 gift card. So again, that duplication, that prevention of duplication through their date of birth and initials helps us to prevent them from receiving multiple gift cards. Certainly in your own space, you'd be able to know if they've completed the survey in the past. But again, we have to keep track of those gift cards, hence the survey log. Just so you have an opportunity to have a look at it, this is the bifold card. Again, just if you, it's like the back and the front. So this is the resource guide. On the right, that panel on the right is what's on the inside. So you can fold the card in half, and on the inside it tells you, hey, here's what's going on with the iCount. We're really trying to provide you with resources and help so we can understand what's going on in this situation. And then multiple numbers of partners across Miami-Dade who are able to assist young people who are experiencing homelessness. That includes, first and foremost, the homeless helpline number. That's going to be your kind of first line there. And then Miami Bridge Youth and Family Services, that's young people who are under the age of 18 who are able to go there. Lotus House is here. Jewish Community Services, as you guys probably already know, the call-in center of Switchboard is no longer called Switchboard. It's the same. The folks who are working there are still the same people. The call center is still there. You're still able to get help and assistance. It's just now called Jewish Community Services. So you'll see that in the right-hand column. Project Upstart is the homeless education program of Miami-Dade County. So if a young person is a student of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, this is the number that they should call. They are incredibly able and helpful and can help to direct these young people to services and potentially get them into shelter if they are unaccompanied. Educate Tomorrow is another partner. They work specifically on education and mentorship, but provide a great deal of assistance to our young people in Miami-Dade County who are experiencing homelessness or who have exited the foster care system in Miami-Dade. And then finally, Project Safe is LGBTQ specific. However, of course, they'll assist young people who don't identify as LGBTQ, and there's 2 numbers provided there. So quickly, in case a young person takes a survey and they ask for the assistance, Your organization may very well have a referral process. Please follow that process if it already exists. Provide them with the resource guide. There's a lot of very useful information, and they will get to the right resource if they make those phone calls. Of course, the Homeless Trust number is going to be one of the best numbers to call just to get started in seeking assistance. So this is just a quick step-by-step of what the process looks like. You're going to offer to administer the survey. Again, respect a youth's request to complete the survey on his or her own if they so choose. If they do want to complete it on their own, you're going to have to provide them with that 4-digit magnet site code. If a youth refuses to take the survey, please do not insist or compel them to complete the survey. Just say thank you and move on. When you do administer the survey, you're going to have to read the questions aloud and read them clearly. Again, please, if you're doing the survey with the young person, make sure that you're in an environment that keeps their information confidential. You can skip any questions that a youth does not want to answer. And if you can, try to just repeat each question only once. However, if there's a disability or a reason that the young person is not understanding you, it's okay to read it more than once. Please submit the survey immediately after it is completed. So if you're doing it online, that's easy enough. You just click submit, and then it goes on its merry way. If you're doing it via paper, I'm not sure if anybody here on the current call is doing the surveys via paper, but if you are, you're going to have to put those into an envelope and keep them secure so that they can be submitted to us via scan by February 1st. After you've submitted the survey, you're going to ask the youth to complete the iCount survey log. That's just that date of birth and initials that I was talking about on the document that we'll provide, so that we can keep track of where the young persons have completed the survey, and those gift cards as well. And then you're going to thank the youth for taking the survey and provide them with the gift card and the bifold card. If you run out of gift cards, and there's young people who are filling these out, please, we're going to create a form so that the young person can fill it out. You can verify that they've completed the survey, and then we can somehow get this this gift card to them. So you're going to have to fill that out and send that to us. As you'll see, my email's down at the bottom. It's pgreen@miamihomesforall.org. We'd ask that you shoot that over to us by February 1st, so we have a sense of how many, if there are additional cards needed, are needed and where. So the daily reporting, outside of just doing the surveys and keeping the log, which we hope won't be too much, we would ask that you send us just a flat number of how many surveys you've completed every day by 11 p.m. For most of you guys, this will probably be easiest just to do at close of business at 5 or 5:30. But just a quick email to Audrey, and her email is there below. Now you'll also get a step-by-step of this and this actual PowerPoint. But you'll just say, hey, I completed 5 surveys today at Miami-Dade County Public Schools Technical College for Aviation. Boom. So that we know how many are being completed over time and can report out to the rest of the community. So some what ifs. What if youth took the survey and want to take it again? Unfortunately, youth may only take the survey one time, so they are not permitted to take it again. What if a youth walks away or stops responding in the middle of the survey? Check refuse to answer for the rest of the questions and submit the survey to us. What if a youth feels uncomfortable answering the question? Youth may refuse to answer any question that they are uncomfortable with. Please do not insist. Just move on to the next question. What if a youth does not respond to a question? Repeat the question once and move on to the next question. 5, and what if youth gets upset or emotional while taking the survey? We do ask that you please offer help. If that's the case, of course, be empathetic. And you can reach out to us here at Miami Homes for All. We're here throughout this entire period and beyond to help you and to assist these young people. So that's our contact information that you see there. Our phone number is there. Also, of course, with the emails coming from Audrey and myself, all of our information is located there as well. But those are our two email addresses. In addition, Manny Sadia from the Miami-Dade County Homeless Trust, you may contact him. He is in charge of the counts generally across the county, so both the adult count and the youth point in time count. He's our contact there. And there's also Deborah Albo Steiger's email address there. That's going to be Miami-Dade County Public Schools. So if you have a question or are coming across a young person who really needs that help, you can provide that information to them or reach out yourself. Okay, so we're going to open it up for questions. If you could, you can submit them via the chat if there are any questions. You can also, we don't have the hand raising capability as I can see it in our webinar, but if you want to just ask the question, you just unmute yourself and shoot us the question, we'll answer. Okay, so if there are no questions, again, you can contact us here at our office. It's 786-469-2060. Also, again, our email addresses, hopefully you've got our email addresses, but they'll also be included in the webinar, which we'll be sending out later on this evening. But with that, we are very, very, very grateful to you. Please know that we will be reaching out to make sure that you have all the things that you need in order to conduct the iCount. We have asked that folks come and pick up posters here. If you do swing by, we will provide you with resource cards and any other documents that you may need, as well as the gift cards. But we are also working on a way to get those to you if you're not able to pick them up. So again, we are so appreciative of your time and thankful to you in helping us to count and assist this population of young people who are in desperate need of assistance. So thank you.